And well, very interestingly, I saw a small branch which of a Bodhi tree, which actually has its root firmly on the ground. I think it become very important commodity because I'm going to talk about it later, but in Buddhist tradition we have three kind of relics: Shariraka, and Paribhogaka, and Udesaka. And Shariraka means part of the body. So the body of the Buddha is a Shariraka, and the Paribhogaka is things used. So Bodhi tree actually was used by the Buddha. But Bodhi tree outside of Bodh Gaya cannot be the Paribhogaka. That could be the Udesaka, things to remember the Buddha. But here in this case, that tree, branch of tree actually comes from the Magadha area. If we believe it, suddenly become a kind of relic, not just the Udesaka, it becomes the Paribhogaka relic, because it continues from the time of the Buddha, if we remember. So it becomes very big commodity. And according to Pasien, we visited in Sri Lanka 4th century, 5th century, he stayed there for 2 years. He mentioned the small vihara with the Buddha statue. That you can see actually go there. And lots of flowers there. But I think you can't stay no more than 10 seconds because so many bees because of the tree flying around there. So after that, Sanghamitta started a non-ordination tradition in Sangha in Sri Lanka. Queen Anula with 500 women, together with 500 women of the harem, received the going post in the presence of Elder Sanghamitta, together with 11 other nuns coming together from Pataliputra. After that, King Devanampiya passed away. 8 years later, Mahinda passed away. 1 year later, 1 year later, Sanghamitta passed away. Nowadays, in Sri Lanka, they found out the stupa dedicated to Sanghamitta. So nowadays, this kind of become kind of a tourist destination at the moment in Anuradhapura. None in Sri Lanka, however, continued until the 10th century before Chola incursion. But during the Chola occupation in Sri Lanka, non-ordination in Sri Lanka died out and could not be restored. So, one of nuns who up to his head and moving to the Anuradhapura and the place Ashoka. This is about the Malakutta in South India. Suyenjang said, Nakpa to the east of the city is an old Sangharama, of which the vegetables and the court are covered with wild stuff. The foundation wall only survived. This was built by Mahindra, the younger brother of Ashoka Raja. In the other part, when Suyenjang talked about Sinhala Buddhism, he said the kingdom of Sinhala formerly was addicted to immoral religious worship, but after the first 100 years following the Buddha's death, the younger brother of Ashoka Raja, Mahindra by name, giving up worldly desire, sought with adore the truth of arahantship, gained the possession of 6 supernatural powers and the 8 means of liberation, and having the power of instant locomotion, just like flying or something like that. He came to this country. He spread the knowledge of true law, means Buddhism, Buddha Sasana, with a widely diffused the Bhikkhu doctrine. So why is it different? We should think about that. But when I read some books a few years back, they fight each other whether we should follow Chinese pilgrim or whether we should follow Theravada tradition. But I think they both telling the story what they can hear. The story of Mahinda and Sanghamitta seems to be circulated only among the Mahavihara tradition during the time when Pasien and Suyenjang visited, I think. In the case of Pasien, he seems to hear the information on Bodhidharma not from the Mahavihara tradition, but from the Abhayagiri Vihara. when you actually read Passion's book, he put more weight on Avayagiri tradition. Mahavihara is a kind of secondary. So we believe Passion stayed not in the Mahavihara monastery, but in the Avayagiri monastery. So Sanghamitta, things like that, could only be circulated within Mahavihara tradition. In the case of Suenjang, he actually could not visit Sri Lanka due to the political situation in the South India. Suenjang actually mentioned he couldn't go there. So he heard the story of Mahendra, probably around the Kanchipuram area, is just the south of the Madras. That could be the southern end part where Suenjang actually visited during his visit to India. So Suenjang get information. For Suenjang, it is very difficult to get the information from Mahavihara, because Mahavihara we always think very traditional, not to let people from outside to the commentary they preserved. One story actually shows Buddha Gosha went to the Mahavihara monastery to see the commentary of Tipitaka. A monk in Mahavihara actually gave a question. You should successfully interpret this verse, then we let you go inside and see our commentary. So Mahavihara kind of idea is not really easy to access. So I think Suenjang, he couldn't actually go there. He couldn't actually get the information about that. The story of Mahinda and Sanghamitta seems to be dominated. The whole life of Sri Lanka after the reform of Parakrama Bahuda I at around the 12th century. King Parakrama Bahuda I invited Mahakashyapa to Polonnaruwa to reform Buddhist Sanghas according to the standard of Aranyakas. But Aranyaka could be the poorest monks residing probably at the Mulla area during this time. But since Aranyakas are sub-branch of the Mahavihara, the reform of Parakrama Bahuda I strengthened the domination of Mahavihara tradition within the southern Buddhism, and nowadays known as Theravada. So after that, I think Sanghamitta story and Mahinda story become very popular and transmitted to the Southeast Asia and so on. So let me conclude briefly. So trees always link to the females. When we can see the seals found in Indus Valley civilization, you can see the tree with the female spirit worshipped by other peoples. So tree seems to be related to the females. As I mentioned, three kind of relic. Bodhi tree outside of Bodh Gaya cannot be treated as a Paribhogaka relic yet because of the effort done by Sanghamitta. All Bodhi trees originated from Bodhi tree in Anuradhapura can be treated as a Paribhogaka relic. I went to many Buddhist temples in Sri Lanka. They all said their Bodhi tree comes from Anuradhapura, so it all becomes Paribhogaka relic. Planting Bodhi tree started to symbolize the foundation of a Buddhist sasana in remote countries. So transmitting Buddhism is not important, but planting the Bodhi tree successfully show how Buddhism actually going deep into inside of their culture and become the part of their culture. So this is a very successful symbolism. We can see the planting of the Bodhi tree. So it actually shows uninterrupted continuity is Buddhist tradition. And also Sanghamitta can also symbolize the fourfold Sangha in Buddhism in South and Southeast Asia. We all know in 1928 Thai Bhikkhu Sangha decreed that non-ordination tradition has died out and could not be restored. But still we can see many traces of fourfold Sangha, which actually makes me think of Ananda. In the first council, Ananda was attacked by Mahakashyapa and so on about the 10 wrong deeds done by Ananda. So one of them actually is persuading the Buddha to accept the woman into the Buddhist Sangha. We can see different answers according to the Buddhist tradition. For example, Theravada or Dhammaguptaka or Mahishashaka tradition, Ananda said Prince Siddhartha was brought up by Mahapajapati Gautami. Because of that, we should accept Mahapajapati Gautami into the Buddhist Sangha. So this is not really a good answer when you see that. It actually links with the personal relationship. But according to the Mahasangikas and Sarvastivada and Mahaprajanya Paramita Shastra translated by Kumarajiva, it actually said, Ananda actually said, there were fourfold Sangha in the time of all past Buddhas. So it is an integral part of a tradition when Buddhism developed. Female Sangha is a part of tradition within the Buddhism. When I visited northern Silk Route in between Xi'an, ancient capital of Tang Dynasty, to Donang, I visited Pingyang. It's around 500 kilometers north of there. We have a very nice cave temple there where you can see 7 past Buddhas depicted beautifully inside of the Buddhist Galato. It's done around 400 AD during that time. I was wondered where the Buddha was. I can't see that. The only 7 past Buddha you can see, and I realized current Buddha was depicted as a story on the ceiling. As you can see clearly, this is the aerial wires of the Buddha from his palace for his going forth. I can't see any purple Sangha there, but in Thai Buddhist temple, when you visit and when you look at very seriously, you can see this kind of photo mural painting where you can see female devotee, male devotee, female nun, and male monk. So I always think about a peaceful harmony of 4 main ingredients, if I may say. Male and female devotee and monks and nuns. That actually symbolized by Sanghamitta, even though that tradition died out. 2 very important, as a conclusion, 2 very important events are related to Sanghamitta in Southern Buddhism, starting of the non-ordination tradition in Sri Lanka and transmitting branch of Bodhi tree from Magadha to Sri Lanka. The legacy of Sanghamitta is still celebrated in Sri Lanka during the full moon day of December, known as Sanghamitta Poya. And the Buddhist nuns, such as Sanghamitta, are the real Asian women intellectuals in this case, in the ancient Indic world. Thank you very much.